Hi there and welcome back to GrayBush Knits. My name is Hannah and this podcast is primarily about my love of knitting. However, it will include some of my other hobbies like sewing, gardening, or sourdough baking. If that sounds like something that you're interested in, please stick around, be sure to subscribe, and if you like this video, I'm just going to remind you right now, hit that like button because it really helps out my channel. So today's video, I'm so excited because I have two finished objects. First of which is this beauty right here. So this is my sweater number 9 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. And this I finished last night. So I have not washed and blocked it yet. This is completely just straight off the needles. I already really love this sweater. I did make a couple modifications. So first of all, I'll just tell you the yarn that I used was a hand-dyed wool, and I also used Knit Picks. No, I'm sorry, not Knit Picks. It was Knitting for Olive Mohair. I will leave the yarns down in the description box. The primary portion of this sweater, I did not make any modifications on. I did, however, adjust the sleeve. So it was supposed to have a tapered sleeve. I think you start tapering at about the elbow. However, I left the full number of stitches on until the very end. And then I used a calculator to help me figure out what to go down to before I started the wristband. And then yeah, I think the wristband I did a little bit longer than what was recommended, but that's only because I was going and then kind of lost track. So that's just slightly longer than what it's supposed to be. The bind off, so last week on my podcast, I showed you the bind off on my sweater and I loved it. I loved the look of it and I was happy with it. I did the same bind off on the sleeves and it was so tight that there was no way I was going to even fit my hand in through the sleeve. It was that noticeable. So I had to look online. I found a different stretchy bind off. And once I found that stretchy bind off, I used that on the sleeve. I really liked it. It's not as clean as what I would want it to be. I know that's really hard to describe, but I'll try to insert a picture. It's just not, I don't know. It just has a different look, and I'm not hating it by any means. It's definitely something that the more I look at it, the more I'm like, yeah, that's how it's supposed to be. It's fine. So who knows? Maybe I'll decide that it's not anything bad and it's gonna be my new favorite, but we'll see. Once I finished those sleeves, I did try the sweater on. I hated the bind off that was at the body and I ripped it out. I did not put that on needles first. My husband was sitting next to me sweating, I think, because I was just ripping. And I ended up redoing that entire bind off to match, and I am very happy that I did that. Like I said, I have not yet washed and blocked this, so I know it's going to grow substantially, but I am really happy. You can see I've got a substantial amount of positive ease, probably a good 4 inches per side, so you know, at least. So that's really nice. It's comfortable. It's easy to do. A French tuck. It's not super long. I do really like it. The collar, like I talked about from the beginning, full collar is very tall. I don't know if I would want anything this tall anyway. I just feel like, you know, I'm just trying to reach above all of the collar to, you know, just try to talk to anybody, do anything, whatever. So I folded it over, and I do really like the way this sits. I've not yet sewn it in because I want to wait until after I've blocked my sweater to really see if that changes at all, and, you know, see if it's something that I'm going to want to change. I also had kind of this swirling effect going on, which is also part of the reason that I haven't done anything with it, is because if I absolutely hate how this is looking even after blocking, which right now it doesn't bother me, but it might after I block it, because you can even notice it here. But if I decide that I absolutely hate it, I may rip that out and just kind of go back in with a different, you know, using 2 skeins of yarn and kind of correct that color issue that was the result of using 1 skein of yarn and getting too much of a pooling. Other than that, I am really happy with this sweater. The pattern I thought was really great. I don't know if there were really any problems the entire way. I know at one point, so for the bind off, she says just use whatever bind off you want. And for the sleeves, there was just a note to go to this website to figure out how to do evenly distributed decreases and do 6 decreases, for example. So those were the only things that I had slight problems with, but it really wasn't that big of a deal because I already had that website up from when I was doing the decreases for where I didn't actually taper the sleeve, when I went down to what the recommended number was right before the wristband. So other than that, I don't know. I'm just so excited about this. I'm really excited to see how it does after blocking. And I did receive some feedback as far as some recommendations for washing this. And so I'm definitely going to be doing that. That's on the list as soon as I get done filming tonight, is I'm going to wash and block this. So I may end up including some pictures afterwards, or I might save those for my Instagram. So I'll go ahead and link that down in the description bar as well. If you'd like to follow me over there, please do. I'd love to visit with you more over there. Second object that is finished from last week were these socks. So I've got both of them are off the needles. Obviously, I've still left them on the blockers just because they look real nice. I had finished these and kind of worn them around a little bit, and you can kind of see it on this one. So my problem was that I hadn't picked up enough stitches on the heel flap, and when I tried them on, I mean, I didn't realize it until I was already, you know, down here. I went and was looking, and I'm like, oh, I was supposed to pick up 10 stitches and I only picked up 9 or whatever. And it's like, well, we'll see how that affects it. Well, they really want to slouch on my foot. And so just using this as the example, instead of staying up like this, they want to do this. And then I get this accumulation right about there. It's not fun. I don't like it. And I'm hoping that because I washed these in the machine, but then I put them on the blockers, I'm hoping that this is kind of going to help stretch them out. I haven't tried them on since, just to see. I've just been leaving them in here. It's been a couple days. They always take forever to dry, so I was just kind of letting them be. This room is kind of cold, so I knew that it was going to take a little bit. The other sock doesn't seem as noticeable here. There doesn't seem to be as much fabric, excess fabric there, as there is. You might be able to see it on this side. I don't know. And it's really weird because I knit them 2 at a time, and I don't know. Unless they are not on here straight. I'm wondering that now. Anyway, I'll kind of fuss with these a little bit. I do really like them. I love the pattern. I'm going to be using the same pattern to knit a pair of socks for my mother-in-law, and I've talked about that, I think, in my first podcast. I'll link it down below. And I am really excited about making those again. I'm really anxious to just do a different color yarn and see if I still like the pattern just as much with a better quality yarn. Like I said, this was acrylic from Hobby Lobby. Yeah, it was an acrylic from Hobby Lobby, and it was great. It's fun to work with. It's really interesting, but I don't know how much I really love these. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm sure I'll wear them. I'll stick them on my feet here before too long, and I'm sure that I'm gonna be happy with them. So anyway, those are my Sunday socks by Petite Knit. This pattern I also really liked. The pattern was really good. I'm trying to think if I didn't make any modifications, I don't think, other than my accidental one on the heel flap. And as far as a first time pattern, I do think it was really a great one to use. I have heard feedback, so some people are telling me that the ribbing may be what's keeping them more erect. Let me see if they're doing it after the blocking, because that was something I didn't check, hadn't thought of until just now. Let's see here. Oh no, they're definitely a lot more comfortable than they were before, so that's great. So hopefully they'll be, the pattern is meant to be a slouchy sock, but they weren't doing that when I was wearing them. So I may not have made the right size. I'll have to look into that. I will double check that, and maybe I'll make a note if I've done that. Maybe that's part of my problem too. Maybe I should have gone with a wider ankle portion, because I pull these up on my leg, and then this is maxed out on my calf, and then that doesn't want to go anywhere. So then I have a very straight sock. But anyway, they're really, really cute. I really like them. Definitely a good pattern. Highly recommend. So moving on. So this week, as far as my projects, because I just finished this last night. Well, okay, so obviously I finished these and was so excited about, the 2 at a time, getting them completely finished, that I cast this. Well, I didn't cast this on. I picked up the sleeves and then worked the sleeves. The one problem I did have, I just remembered. So underneath the arm, in the pattern, it tells you to pick up 4 stitches or whatever, the stitches that you had added on. It tells you to pick those up. Don't do that. Pick up 2 extra and really make sure that you have a good closure under there, because I had to go back in with some scrap yarn and close up holes. I had 2 significant holes on each armpit, and I still don't love, you can see through there. I don't love that. So I am going to be kind of messing with that, and especially with the blocking, I'll see if that changes at all. But that is the only problem that I had, and that was kind of my own fault. I've known from other patterns that I should pick up 2 extra stitches on the armpit, and then if I need to decrease those out or just leave them in, it doesn't usually make too much of a difference. I didn't do that. I said, nope, I'm going to follow the pattern, and I really wish I would have just followed my gut. But you live, you learn, you figure it out. I was very ready by the time I got to the ribbing. I was doing great on the 2 at a time, but by the time I got to the ribbing and I had to start messing with extra balls of yarn and all of this, I was so ready to be done with anything 2 at a time that it's probably going to take me a few days to start that second pair of socks, or the next pair of socks, because this really took a lot out of me when it came to doing the sleeves. But anyway, so like I was saying, moving on, my projects since finishing this last night, I have cast on is it the Lulu slipover? I believe it's a Lulu slipover. If not, I'll put whatever it's really called right here. And this is another pattern by Petite Knits. So I'm not too far. Like I said, I started this morning. Well, let's see if I can. I'm in the middle of a row. I was sitting talking to my husband and knitting this, but not too far right now. This pattern is the one that my mom wants to make, and so I decided that I was going to go ahead and start it as well. That way, if there were any sort of issues along the way, I would know exactly what she was talking about and be able to help her. Like you see, I'm what is that, 1.5 inches now, roughly, into this pattern. I'm not excited about it. Part of that's because it's an item that I don't know how much I'm going to be wearing. Part of it is because the pattern itself. So when you look at the slip over, I'll try to include a picture. When you look at the slip over, you think, okay, so you're going to start with the collar. You're going to, come out, and then you're going to go straight down. Why do that? Why be that easy? I mean, I'm not a knitwear designer, obviously, but to me, that's what makes sense, and that's not what she did here. So this pattern right now, the way that this is working up, is that you start on the back, not on the front, obviously, but you start right here, you knit on stitches, and then you're gonna increase to get to your shoulders, and then you're gonna work straight down. Let's just take a minute to talk about how stupid that is. I'm sure it's going to be great, and I'm trying to just roll with it. Try something different. What's it going to hurt? I have to look at a pattern constantly. That's the first problem. I don't like that. I like being able to kind of know what's coming ahead and feel comfortable enough to be like, I know I'm going to, do the raglan increases once I get to here. Once it kind of fits me here, then I can go ahead and split and yada, yada, yada. This one, I got no clue what's coming. I'm just knitting in the dark. The other thing that I'm not sure that I like is you knit one side and you purl the next, and you knit the one and you purl the next. It is good practice. It is good practice. So, just whatever. I also am knitting in almost the same colors. That's fine. That's fine. Once I get this to a point to where I'm not doing the increases anymore. Oh, did I just drop a stitch? Hold on. Let me fix this really quick before I really lose my mind here. Got it. Okay. So I think what I'm going to do as soon as I get this to a point to where I'm kind of set and I'm not having to look at the pattern so much, I'm going to start my Korshavn cardigan. That is something I am so excited about, and I'm so excited about that yarn combo. I wanted to do a swatch and have it in time for today, but that didn't happen. If it happens tonight, because that's a possibility, while I am blocking this, I may go ahead and knit up a swatch for that. If so, I'll try to include one because, everybody likes a quick swatch picture. So that yarn is sitting staring at me all the time, and it's a good thing because I'm really excited about that sweater, especially because of that yarn combination. So that's the next thing I'm going to be casting on probably in the next day or two, the way that I'm going on this. And yeah, probably tonight. I'm just going to be honest with you, probably tonight. So I think that's it right now. Like I said, I do want to start another pair of socks. I might be casting those on before my next podcast, but it may not happen until next weekend. We'll see. So moving on, I've got my, I just have my acquisitions. So I purchased a couple things this week. I won't go into too much detail. So I purchased a couple things this week, somewhat having to do with my 15 knits that I want to make in 2024 video. One of those sweaters, the drizzle sweater, or drizzle cardigan, excuse me, I will again put a picture up here. I thought this sweater was so beautiful, and I know that I want to make it this year. I know that it's going to be something that may end up being cast on after my Korshavn. I really want to have a few cardigans because unlike the rest of the world right now that is receiving tons of snow, it was 67 degrees here today and so nice out that I was walking alley around in the backyard with my t-shirt on, and I was really comfortable. And for once there wasn't wind, because we have pretty strong winds here, like 40 to 60 mile an hour winds consistently in the springtime. So I was pretty happy with that. But I know that that sweater is definitely something that I'm going to want to have for, you know, later on in the season. And if we happen to actually get cool enough at some point. But I did go ahead and decide to purchase some yarn. This is the Lion Brand's Fisherman's Wool. And this I just picked up at Joann's. They had a really good sale going on. And I bought it in the oatmeal color. Let's see here. Go ahead and focus. Not on me. There we go. So in this oatmeal color, I really love this. I was able to purchase 3 skeins of yarn, and I think that that's going to be enough, more than enough for my sweater that I need. So I'm really excited because really I spent less than $25 in 3 skeins of yarn to make a cardigan that features some cabling. I'm excited about that. So I purchased this. I also ordered off of Etsy some stitch markers that I'm going to start using for my videos, especially for marking where I'm at on projects. So these are the markers that I purchased, and I'll go ahead and link, or I'll leave the shop right here. I can't quite remember the name and I'm getting it mixed up in my head. So these I ordered. I really wanted something substantial so that when I am holding this up, you'd be able to actually see it, because some of my markers are so small, you're not going to see it. And I really like this, but just like right there, it's very similar in color, and I think everything that I have right now is about that color. I did also purchase, when I bought that yarn, I purchased some stones. This is like a jewelry, oops, there we go. A jewelry stone set. I purchased those. I got some small wood beads, and then I also purchased 2 of these pendants. There we go. And I'm hoping to turn these into stitch markers. I used to do like just some small jewelry type things, and I'm really hoping that all of that knowledge has not completely left me. And I'm going to be making some of these markers so that I can have them obviously for my projects, but especially for being able to have a clear marker while I'm showing items in my videos. I think it'll just be a little bit easier to see exactly where I was last time we visited. So I ordered those, I purchased those at Joann's, and then I had ordered the other stitch markers. I have some things that I have ordered, and I've got a lot of stuff coming in right now. I ordered yarn for probably 4 or 5 of the items that are on my 15 knits for 2024 list. I also have one item that I want to knit that I couldn't figure out colors, that I think I found like one of the main yarns that I want to use. So I'm probably going to be ordering that tonight, and then finding some coordinating colors once I receive that in. So once I have it in hand and I know exactly what I've got, I'm probably going to be ordering that tonight because, you know, yarn addict. And after that, I'm probably gonna be done for a little bit. My birthday's at the end of the month. My mom and I were talking earlier, and she told me this box is going to be showing up, and so, you know, it's going to have your name on it, so don't open it. And I said, okay, well, if is it someplace that I would have ordered from? Yeah, probably. Okay, well, what if it's what I just ordered? Then you can wait until your birthday to open all of it. So in a couple weeks, we're going to have a really good acquisitions, and I'm going to just probably have a, you know, I went crazy buying too much yarn video. So anyway, that is everything that I've got for you this week. I am so incredibly pleased with this sweater. I would highly recommend this project to everyone. The fit of it is amazing. The pattern was beautiful, and I'm so pleased with the outcome. I don't know if I would change anything on it other than the striping. Other than that, we're golden. But we'll see after I block it. Yeah. It's just a short one today, but I'm so glad to have visited with you again. If you like this if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I really appreciate all of the support, and I would really love to talk to you some more down in the comments. If you have any companies that you would recommend for stitch markers, please send them my way. Also, I really like stone or more natural beads, that kind of a look, gold, bronze colors. And other than that, if you have any sort of experience with the Korshavn cardigan, or even with that, I don't know if I'm going to knit it right away. I'm probably, when I was talking to my mom, I was telling her that I think I might start the Tolsta tee this week too, because like I said, it was 61 degrees. And I didn't know if I was even going to be able to make it through this whole video with this sweater on, but I didn't turn the heater on in this room, so it stayed nice and cold, so I was able to stick it out. Go me! Anyway, I'm just going on and on now, so I will let you go. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I would love to talk with you some more down in the comments. And until I see you on Wednesday, I hope you have a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye!